talking about prison. We are counting days, ladies and gentlemen. In the next 6 days, something is going to happen in Abuja, and it's not just in Abuja, it is going to happen worldwide, and it is this clamor, a new reinvigorated clamor for the release of Mazi, Nnamdi Kanu. So a lot of people who have now understood why the injustice, right, seems to have lasted for too long, and there's a time to put an end to it, are now helping to educate others. Like, listen, this is not about IPOB. This is not even like about just a Biafra now. It is about a man that is unjustly locked up on trumped up charges that they don't have any means or any kind of like interest of prosecuting him than persecuting him. And that is wrong. Allowing this to fester this long is the reason why these guys just feel so unbothered that they could do all of this, which is a plus. The DSS themselves are becoming very much restless as well. You know what I mean? Because I think this is the way Omoyele Sowore is going about it, and letting people understand that if an Igbo man is calling, or let's say if an IPOB member, or even the IPOB generally, they are calling and say, we are going to hit Abuja. Now that's going to be a very different narrative, right? So it's so difficult for the DSS, it's so difficult for Tifnumbu's camp to actually spin this. You get what I mean? Like, they can't really say, oh, some Igbos are coming to come and, IPOB is coming to, you get what I mean? It is Omoyele Sowore. How are you going to spin this? So it's just going to be the collection of concerned Nigerians, and you have no idea how much awareness this has generated. If you don't, I can put you through. Before we go to their crusade about it in Abuja today and other places, right? First, listen to this. Why should Nnamdi Kanu be freed? And why now? Some are asking that, it's like, why now? Why is it now that I think somebody has an answer or close to an answer for you.
Lovers of justice all over the world, you see this proposed protest for the immediate release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. It's timeless, the time is now. And I encourage every citizen of this country to participate in this particular protest. I encourage every citizen, every indigene, every believer of Igbo cause to do what? To participate in this particular protest if it is convenient for you. Now, I say this because we have waited. We had hope that the Nigerian government is going to be fair with the trial of this man. But it's obvious our faith seems not to be coming true. And there is no other way better than this particular protest to bring it to the attention of the Nigerian government that we are watching, we are listening, and we are seeing. And it seems the justice expected in this matter seems not to be coming very soon. Now, you can see what is actually playing out. You can see how the president of this country has been granting amnesty to the convicted set of people. You are granting an amnesty to people, granting pardon to people who have been tried, convicted, and serving their terms of imprisonment. But somebody whom the government cannot provide good evidence is languishing in jail, and the East is deteriorating. Now, I listened to comment of people, speaking and condemning the actions of the former vice president, Atiku Abubakar, who spoke out, who supports this particular protest, saying that he is playing politics with it. And why hasn't he spoken all along? Why now? Now, let me say this. A lot of people believe that Nigerian government was going to be fair with the trial, and that is why we gave them what? Benefit of doubt. So it doesn't matter whether somebody who didn't speak in the past is speaking now. What matters is that we are all bringing our support. People are speaking from different angles that they don't see justification in the continuous detention of this man. And I want to review one secret that a lot of people don't know. Treason, murder, any of these capital offenses are available if good reasons are given on special circumstances. and health ground is one of the special circumstances wherein somebody facing this kind of trial could be admitted to bail if sufficient evidence is given that the custodial center does not have what medical fitness, medical equipment to take care of that illness. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has spoken. The medical evidence available shows that the health condition of this man is deteriorating while still keeping him in detention. Let me say this: the worst will happen in the East if eventually this man dies in the prison. We have suffered enough, and the Igbo should rise up and speak against this impunity. Now I listened and I saw the comment made by the presidential aide condemning Showore, saying that he is anarchist, that he is lawless. Let me say this: in a state where there is no respect for rule of law, where there is no respect for order of the courts, what that state expects is anarchy, and anarchy is a state of lawlessness. If you don't obey the rule of law, you are giving room for what? For anarchy. You are giving room for rebellion, and that is what is expected of Nigerians whenever the government violates or flouts the order of the court or refuses to obey the rule of law. I encourage every citizen of this country to do what? To participate in this particular protest, so that Nigerian government will know that we are not actually blind. We are only giving the benefit of doubt, believing that justice will be done. But when we perceive and see that justice in this matter is being truncated, is being politicized, then we, the citizens of the country, we have no other option than to do what? To ventilate our grievances through other channels. Share this video to get to the appropriate authority so that they will know that we are actually planning and we are going to participate in this particular protest. I am your...
So you know, and of course, there are some of you who believe that they will be clamped down on and they will be stopped and the rest of that. Well, how about releasing Nnamdi Kanu? Releasing Nnamdi Kanu is not begging for a pardon. It is asking them to obey the part of the Supreme Court's judgment. Do you know that there is a part of that Supreme Court judgment as well that said that there is bail? Supreme Court says he didn't jump bail, that they wanted to kill him, that he had to escape for his life. So right now, his bail should be reinstated. They ignored that. They're still locking him up. Don't think people who are asking for his release are being emotional or they are this or that. It's because they love. No. You yourself should open your eyes and ears to actually understand the miscarriage of justice in this whole thing. People want Nnamdi Kanu released. They're not saying that if he's committed any crime, he shouldn't be tried. But it won't take 10 years to try somebody of something, and you keep changing it, and you locked him up, ignoring and disobeying court order. Like, how is that sensible? How does that make any sense? Ojiu Zokalu said that he is not in support of that because the case is still in court. He is one of them.
Confident that should Nnamdi Kanu be released, security in the southeast will be positively affected.
Well, let me say this. You know, Nnamdi Kanu is before a court of competent jurisdiction, and it would be very, very unfair for me to be talking about the release of Nnamdi Kanu, which is before Justice Omotosha, or discussing anything about that honorable court. And I urge Nigerians to learn how to respect the courts. And I want to leave that about respecting the court for now.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
That's what he said. You, me, should respect the court. But the government can disobey the court. Do you get that? Like they could do it, they've done it. So yeah. Continue to use delay tactics. Baba, they did a medical check. They said they sent the Nigeria Medical Association to go and run their own independent check on Nnamdi Kanu. That's the court-sanctioned checkup, medical checkup, right? And then come back to report if something is wrong with him in 8 days. So they went, they did their check, all right? And then they claimed to have submitted the report to the court. On the day of the court said the report was never filed. So therefore, they would have to adjourn the case. The court didn't say, make sure you file the report this evening before the close of work today. And I'm adjourning till tomorrow. You have to call. If you don't bring me that report tomorrow, then I will know that something is amiss, and I'm going to dismiss this case. Is that not what a judge should do? No. The judge said, I will meet again in under 8 days. 8 days for a report that you gave order to 8 days ago. So they didn't file it. And you are not upset. You are not angry. The prosecution now said, okay, you know what? We want to move for adjournment so that we can meet again and make sure that the report is submitted. Who doesn't know all of that trick or that play? The judge says, okay, come tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow. No, said another 8 days. By the time you come back next week, for that 8 days they gave, which is, I think, is this week, right? So by the time you come back for that, they will find something again and again. And guess what? The judge may say, I deny the request to take him to National Hospital. You see all this wahala about he should get medical help, he should get medical care, Nigerian medical clinic should check him and all that nonsense. By the time it is time for the court to now say, okay, you know what, they say, you know what, they said something is wrong with him, but DSS can take care of it. So it's hereby denied. Breaking news, court denying Nnamdi Kanu to be taken to National Hospital. Then you'll be asking yourself, why all this all this while then? Because it is intentional. Why should Nnamdi Kanu be freed? Maybe this can possibly help you.
Well, you see, there are more important issues in Nigeria than elections. Well, elections can come and go, but those issues will remain. The issues are clear. That a lot of people who are Nigerians are no longer happy being Nigerians. It doesn't make them unpatriotic. It doesn't make them criminal. One of the ways citizens express their unhappiness with the system or with how their country is going is by engaging in agitations. And my clients happen to be engaged in agitation. And that agitation is informed by their right to self-determination, which is not a crime. I don't think criminalizing the demand of a people, of millions of people. You see, this is beyond IPOB. The restiveness in this country is also rampant in the western part of the country. And parts of the north are also restive. I'm not talking about the terrorists in the north, but civil restiveness. So it indicates an overall unhappiness that is coming from vast majority of Nigerians with the way things are, with the way the system is structured. And that is something that does not deserve a bullet. It does not deserve prosecution, which is now turning to be a persecution. What it deserves is dialogue, civil engagement, constructive engagement. That's the only way you get to the position where everybody will be comfortable with an arrangement for a new Nigeria that would ensure equity and social justice for all. If somebody is saying, I want out, I don't want to be a Nigerian anymore, he's not committing any crime. And that is why you see this slew of nations around the world being very understanding of the matter and offering political asylum to members of IPOB. Number one is Britain. You see, if what IPOB is doing is illegal, is criminal, why would a major power like United Kingdom consider that IPOB members are entitled to asylum in UK? You see, the basic requirement for asylum all over the world is guided by this. Anybody that possesses a well-founded fear of persecution simply because he possesses, he subscribes to a political opinion the government of the day is wishing to suppress by means of punishment of some sort, that qualifies you for protection for refugee status, for asylum status. IPOB members have been found across the world as a people that possess a legitimate political opinion, which is self-determination, that the government of the day is wishing to suppress by means of punishment of some sort. That is what we are dealing here. It's bigger than any election. And anybody that is asking you for a referendum is conducting himself within the framework of the law. He's not asking for war. You shouldn't face him with war. Referendum is a civil demand, and it had produced very good results in the past. Within the Federation of Nigeria itself, it was a referendum that created the fourth region of Midwest. And outside of it, it was a referendum that they took western part of Cameroon from Nigeria and gave it to Cameroon, and took the former Sadana province of Cameroon and gave it to Nigeria, the present-day Adamawa and parts of Taraba states. So what we are talking about here is not a situation that requires the government to prioritize the levying of violence against the people that are not violent.
Do you need any further explanation? Or I shouldn't ruin it for you. I want you to digest it. Everything you need to understand before the government unleashed violence. The most violent of all of this is the government. Using violence response to what should have been just civil matter. People can group themselves and say, we are this, we want that, and we are going to, not ignoring the threat of the Fulani terrorist that he raised 10 years ago, even longer. That is now happening in the country, which in itself is not even like against Nigeria. We need to defend ourselves. We need to protect ourselves. It is not against Nigeria per se, but against the terrorists that he strongly believed were going to be sponsored by those in government. They are yet to prove him wrong, that these terrorists are sponsored by government. El Rufai came out recently and said, this government is paying terrorists. We have it on record, states in northern Nigeria that have released billions of naira to these terrorists in the name of peace. There's no peace. So that has justified this position, the position they didn't want the rest of Nigeria to know back then. And they are still doing their effort today, doing their best to make sure that they continue to suppress that thought. The thought of how could your government be involved in genociding you, ethnic cleansing, and all this rubbish going on right now? How could somebody accuse your government of that with evidence? And they are practically doing exactly what he said they would do. They will pamper them, they will gaslight you, they will bully you to believe that you are overreacting. Their solution is going to be how to placate these criminals. And they have done all of that. But they wanted to believe that IPOB is violent, IPOB is this, Nnamdi Kanu killed people, this and that. And yet in their own court, where all of this evidence and these witnesses, those who believe that Nnamdi Kanu orchestrated the tragedy that befell them and all of that, if you can bring them out and bring them to the court, they will be useful. These are the supposed evidence they need to confirm that he is a terrorist, as they are charging him for terrorism now. All this information, all these accusations are just what these criminals have been pushing for years, but they couldn't really prove it in their own court. Now, think about that. Mazi.
People must come out to say that enough is enough. When you travel to the north, do you live in the forest in the north? The Igbo people in Sabongeri in Kanu, are they living of course it's Hausa land, are they living in the forest? They came to the town, they work very hard, they build houses, they build mansions, they develop the entire place. Is that not what they do? What are Fulani people doing in our forest? Nobody can answer that question. They say that they're pastoralists. World aspiring to be a member of the UN Security Council, where you move cattle from place to place. Are you people well at all? You so-called Nigerians, are you normal in the brain? I'm asking you a simple question. Show me a country that aspires to be in the 21st century, moving cattle from place to place, telling me they're grazing. Which country is that? Please tell me. These are people they have prepared for you to sell you down the drain. By the time the Fulanis are done with you, believe you me, if you don't rise up now to fight for your freedom, by the time Fulanis are done with you, you'll be more useless than a Hausa peasant. People must come out to
Nnamdi Kanu. The position that the Fulani oligarchs felt so strong about, how could they be making such? How did they even know about all of that? I mean, these are the things that